Okay, so this is something that no one expected, and it's something a little bit different that I'm doing on this channel, because it seems like Tribe 9 is end of servicing. Now, I've never covered this game on this channel or anything, but it's been something that's been very prevalent over the past couple of months, because it's been a new gacha game that's come to the space, made by the same developers as Danganronpa, or at least it's following the same kind of style and, kind of series type thing. Now, obviously, they released this statement saying, "End of service announcement. Thank you for your continued support of Tribe 9. We regret to inform you that the service for Tribe 9 will be terminated on November 27th, 2025 JST. Since the game's launch, the development and operations team have strived to provide excellent service and improve player experience. However, after careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to end the game's service. Unfortunately, this also means that we're unable to deliver on Chapter 4 of the story, which we have previously announced. We apologize the sudden nature of this announcement to all of our players. Information regarding the service termination schedule and any related procedures will be made through in-game notices and on official websites." Now, yeah, the reaction to this has been pretty crazy. Obviously, Toronto tagging Fobmaster, Age saying bro, Chomu saying ha. Everyone is very confused by this because it hasn't even been out for a year, I don't think, and it's already going down, which is crazy for a gacha game. You usually see them at the very, 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 very least lasting for about a year. It usually lasts even longer than a year, but obviously this has shut down in a matter of months, which is crazy. And obviously, yeah, Fobmaster, Atoma, all those people are not going to be happy because, again, this was a game that, they seem to like. Me personally, I didn't really play much of it. I didn't really think it was that interesting to me, but obviously I know a lot of people did really like it. Now they say, yeah, they put the same message here as well. They say regarding future updates and new content, they say all scheduled updates and new content have been cancelled. So there's going to be no new content coming to the game up until November, until the game actually shuts off. So if you're expecting any kind of update or anything kind of, added to the game up until, the termination point, that's not going to be a thing. They say regarded unreleased characters, they say with the termination of service, the addition of Ichinosuke Akiba and Saizo Akiba to the game, which were originally scheduled on the roadmap, will also be cancelled. So no new characters. Due to this change, the consumption of paid Enigma entities used to unlock arm support and advanced support, as well as to purchase contract levels where Saizo Akiba's skin can be acquired, will be refunded. Refunds for paid Enigma entities will commence after support contract revenue ends. Now they say purchase of items within app or through web store, paid Enigma entities and daily passes will no longer be sold. Enigma entities will continue to be in use for even after the 14th of May. We hope that you just continue to enjoy Tribe 9 despite the short period of time before the service ends. And that's not good at all. Now, I don't know too much about the in-game kind of currency. Obviously, they're talking about paid Enigma entities and things like that. And it seems like the Enigma entities, I literally just did a quick little check. It says, the ones that were used to unlock the support and advanced support, as well as to purchase contract levels for the support contract, will be refunded. So I don't know if that's only for a specific banner or if that's for the entire game. They should be refunding the entire everything, They should be refunding everything because people, are in it for the long run, and a lot of people have spent a lot of money on games like this. But if it's only just for a banner or just for a certain time period, that is not good at all. But again, they kind of make it a little bit hazy there, so we're going to have to wait and see what kind of happens with that. And obviously, they say refunds for paid Enigma entities will commence after support contract revenue ends, which, yeah, that's going to be interesting. So I think if you want to get a refund, you're going to have to go over to the support and at least try do that or so like that. I don't know. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. I don't really know what is going on with this. It's kind of interesting, but why exactly did Tribe 9 actually, EOS? What is the point behind this? Well, first of all, we can take a look at the revenue data. Now, this is not accurate at all, but obviously it gives us a good idea at what kind of space, Tribe 9 were in and who they were kind of competing with, kind of just loosely. It's not anything accurate, but, let's just say they're not going to be in the 100 millions if they're showing us 100,000 on this chart. So, again, they've dropped over $500,000 in revenue, apparently. So again, they're not at a very high point. They're one of the lowest performing gachas in terms of, revenue. And, obviously that happens sometimes, especially with some smaller gachas. You have some pretty bad times, and what you need to do is you need to get through it. But obviously, I'm guessing the company didn't see any point in continuing the game if they were just going to get this kind of revenue. But at the same time, I do think it's kind of lazy. I think they should have held on a little bit more, but maybe it was just more of a case of they were holding on to, you know, what they had, and they didn't want to like hemorrhage money pretty much just from trying to keep it alive and trying to improve it. But at the same time, I do think Tribe 9 should have done way more to kind of keep the longevity of the game going, just to see if there could be a little bit more, you know, they could do to kind of boost up the revenue, but they did not do that. And if we go to Tribe 9 right now, we can see the current players over on Steam charts, which this is accurate data, by the way. It's 500 players right now, which isn't a lot. I mean, you know, we looked at Wuthering Waves, it had about like 9,000 last time I checked. So again, you know, 500 is like, it's an all right amount, but it's anything crazy. So, and also as well, you've got to factor in this announcement might have actually spurred a few players to actually go onto the game. But yeah, it seems like they've been losing players pretty much ever since the launch. They started off with a pretty good amount, but again, they've been losing ever since. You know, they started off at 9,000, and then they had a boost at an update, I'm pretty sure, and then yeah, they're back down to 500 players, which is not good. And obviously, I think the declining kind of player base and the declining revenue so early on is what, you know, kind of made them to make that decision, which, you know, I can see is fair enough from a business aspect, but I would have liked them to see them carried on a little bit more just to see if they could do anything to save it. And if it really was in the mud, then they could just go, okay, let's get rid of it. Maybe like give it a year, and that would have been pretty good. But again, no, they didn't do that because they are cancelling in November, which is pretty crazy to see. And obviously, you know, people saying any gacha game that starts and ends its service in the same year should refund any purchases made by players. RIP players, RIP devs, RIP corporation. They say they're literally doing that. So again, they're saying that they are literally refunding a lot of the, you know, kind of currency and stuff, which is good. If that is the case, that is probably the best possible outcome we could see from this. I think it'd be a much different situation if it was just like, okay, we're ending and we're not going to refund you at all. I think the fact that they're refunding players because they've sunk so much time into this is actually going to be better. Obviously saying, I guess we onto this one, Lel. I don't know if that is the same developers. Obviously it's only got one like, so I think it's you know, something different. But they say another anime cash grab. They say for anyone who's planning on quitting the game, please stay strong enough to defeat the Minato tribe. It's a secret XP game if you visit Shun's grave and interact with it a few times. Make your goal in the game, you level up characters and defeat the Shun. Which again, I don't know, you know, some people are still trying to hold on to the game. Which to be honest, if I was someone who played Tribe 9 quite a bit, at this point I'm just done. You know, I don't want to invest any more of my time into a game that is not, you know, just doesn't really want to continue anymore. I feel like it would have just been a complete waste of my time. But I understand there's a lot of people who have already sunk a lot of time into Tribe 9 and have, you know, gotten really invested in it to the point where, you know, they kind of do have to just keep playing it until it kind of ends, which is kind of sad to see for a lot of the people that have been enjoying it quite a bit. And it was kind of shocking to see this. I wasn't really expecting to see any news like this come out, especially for Tribe 9, you know? If I was to guess any game that was going to, like, kind of EOS, it probably would have been like Honkai Impact 3rd or something like that. But like even then, Hoyoverse has quite a strong connection with it, so I don't think they'll do that. But in terms of age, you know, Honkai Impact 3rd's been out for ages, so I thought, you know, maybe that could be one of the possible ones. But no, it's actually Tribe 9, who's only been out for a couple of months now. And it's crazy, especially since all the hype that's been around it as well. You know, there's people really interested in the fact that it had this whole kind of like Danganronpa theme and everything like that, which did look very, very nice to me as well. But it seems like they just couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle the revenue. They couldn't handle all of this. So it's now end of service. So yeah, pretty interesting. But if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And also go over to GameStop, use my code CASA, get 10% off. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.